Hey everybody, off the top rope, off the mic sports network here. I've spent a lot of time talking about Elimination Chamber. I'm going to do something that the average person would not touch. I'm going to loosely talk about AEW Collision. I haven't even seen the ratings yet, but I want to illustrate a point here. And people think that I hate AEW. I don't. I just think that the way that they represent themselves and the level of talent that they have, they could do way more better, and their fan base is completely far gone. And so just in their feelings that if you even throw an ounce of criticism at that, they get defensive. So let's establish this right away. Collision was going on at the exact same time as the Elimination Chamber. And if you want to understand the gap between AEW and WWE right now, and again, this wouldn't be an issue if Tony Khan didn't keep parading his company around like there wasn't anything wrong with it. Worst world heavyweight championship run that I've ever seen in my life. The main event scene's a disaster. Their production, they don't think they need to have production meetings to make sure that mishaps don't happen on shows. But here's how the gap is so wide between WWE and AEW. On the night that John Cena turned heel, you want to know what was going on in AEW? They were having a Collision show where John Morrison is gonna have and actually three ex-WWE guys, John Morrison and the MXM Collection, which is Mansoor and Mace, or now known as Mace and Madden, are going to be taking on Big Boom AJ, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe. That match was made for Revolution on Collision on Saturday night. What in the fuck are we doing? The Rock, literally the most famous guy in the world, and I've had my critiques of him, John Cena, one of the greatest of all time, made the most seismic move in professional wrestling history. And that is the alternative to WWE. That's how you counter program. Also, leave out the fact Adam Cole, who was I once thought could be a main eventer potentially, and you could debate that with me in the comments, when he was on NXT, and then he obviously went to go to AEW to be with the significant other, Britt Baker. We know how that's played out. Unfortunately, they're no longer together. To some people, that actually is a good thing because a lot of people don't like Britt Baker. But Adam Cole faced Daniel Garcia on the show while Elimination Chamber was going on. And that match didn't even main event the show, which was for a championship. You want to know what main evented Collision? It was a tag team. Granted, I love Will Hobbs, and he was in his hometown of Oakland. He's from East Palo Alto, California, so that was pretty cool. But it's Bandito teaming with Will Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs, to take on the Learning Tree. Thank God Chris Jericho didn't grace us with his presence in that. That is the alternative to WWE. And you fans like Drainmaker and all these other people are trying to figure out what the hell is wrong. I saw a couple of people saying, yeah, we should have a New Japan person win an AEW title. That'll help us. What? You want to know what else I saw recently? It's been now 4 years to the day since Tony Khan created the famed Shane McMahon on Nitro thing when they famously kayfabe bought WCW. And so Tony Khan recreated that segment by saying that he brought Ring of Honor. And it got me thinking about this. What in the fuck has buying Ring of Honor done for AEW outside of give Athena a safe place to stay away from the rest of the women's division? Because Athena would crush every single person in the women's division not named Toni Storm. She would crush everybody. Because she has had one of the great women's title runs, and nobody has given a shit about it because about 15 people watch Ring of Honor. They've tried to get a TV deal twice for that show. It has been a net negative for AEW. It's become Rampage. It just doesn't have a television deal. So again, you want to just understand just how poorly run this place is when you stack that against Elimination Chamber, which was one of the great professional wrestling events that I've ever seen from start to finish, with the most significant piece of business, the most significant heel turn since Hulk Hogan in 1996. I am very curious to see how AEW responds to that as they head into their shows heading into Revolution. Mind you, they also made a match with Big Boom AJ. I'm trying to think of a good analogy to compare Big Boom AJ in terms of the level of famous, because he's a TikTok guy, and apparently TikTok people get into this, but it's The Rock and John Cena. And Cody Rhodes, who was a founding father, a founding member of AEW. He got the fuck out of there, and now he is the most made man in professional wrestling. I do this on a regular basis on this channel, not because I'm engagement farming. It's because I expect so much better from especially where AEW was 4 years ago to where they are now. Less than 500,000 people a week watch their number one show. And then you go to the Costco guys. Granted, Big Boom AJ, in terms of wrestlers that are celebrities, it's not that bad. He actually had a decent match with QT Marshall. But why are we dragging Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe into this? Why are we dragging John Morrison, Johnny TV into this? What are we talking about here? But man, this was really upsetting to me. Kenny Omega was advertised for a promo. He did it pre-taped. If you're gonna do a wrestling show against a WWE PLE that you're gonna get clobbered, at least act like you care. And there's some people in this community that think that this was actually a good show, and maybe it was good for you. But again, when you stack stuff up side by side, this is not a competition anymore. It hasn't been a competition for 3 years. And the gap is so wide at this point, I'm starting to wonder when TNA is going to potentially pass AEW. Because that's a joke of a show. And then you main event with the Learning Tree? I understand that Will Hobbs is in his hometown. All due respect to Will Hobbs. Outside of that, what's the point of main eventing a show that's supposed to be a significant television show that you're trying to present as a big deal up against Elimination Chamber? That's your main event? You couldn't have Kenny Omega give a live promo for the people of Oakland? That's not good enough for you to sell your match with Takeshita? You can't do that? You can't have something with MJF and Adam Page? You can't have the TNT championship that has barely been defended since Daniel Garcia won it. You can't have Adam Cole, who has completely fallen off the grid. Much of it is not his fault. He's just been really horrendously bad luck with injuries. But the gap has separated to the point of I don't know if you guys have ever. I can't even believe I'm actually going to make this reference here. You guys ever heard of the Phantom of the Opera about the song "The Point of No Return"? That's where AEW is right now. They're at the point of no return. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We're so many great subscribers. We're even getting super chats here, which was awesome. A lot of great things coming from that live watch along for Elimination Chamber. We're going to start doing a little bit more live streaming, to be determined on how we're going to do it. If we're going to do it live during shows, or if I'm going to potentially be doing some post shows for some of the bigger shows like Raw and Netflix, and especially with the road to WrestleMania, we might start doing that more on a regular basis, because it seems like a lot of people are into content during that point. These short form videos have done a lot of good for me, but I appreciate the love and support on my sports content as well. Get at me at OT Mike Sports, off the Mike 28 on Twitter. If you're an AEW fan and you want to tell me I'm wrong, I really don't give a shit. It's your opinion, but I love the engagement. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.